Hello and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day.
After the ICU's capacity in the department suffered a considerable increase, the Ministry of Health provided support to help solve the situation.
In an interview with Teleislas News, the Vice Minister of Public Health and Service Provision of the Ministry of Health announced that they have been providing support and equipment to expand the installed capacity of the intensive care unit for COVID patients in the island.
We continue working with the regions in the strengthening of the installed capacity, adjusting depending on the conditions of the epidemiological peaks and occupation within that process. We have been supporting different regions that today have a higher level of occupation and have some difficulties in reference. Within these, we have the archipelago of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina, in which we are working with them for a reorganization of internal beds to provide them with greater capacity, reinforcing and maintaining some critical areas to improve the installed capacity and also support them since we are sending infusion pump equipment, monitors and ventilators to support 5 additional beds in the intensive care unit.
For today, the department registered again an increase of COVID cases. This time, 47 cases were added to the national count. Likewise, it is valid to remind the community of the importance of complying with the measures imposed to avoid 100% occupancy on the ICU of the departmental hospital.
The departmental government had just issued a new decree that regulates the circulation on the island. Here in Teleislas News, we present the details of Decree 173.
The departmental government issued Decree 173, which restricts the circulation of residents and tourists in the public places between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. every day. The measure of following a schedule by identification document number is imposed in commercial establishments, banks, private and public companies, with the exception of hotels. People with the last digit of even number ID may move on even calendar days, and people with the last digit of odd number ID may move on odd calendar days. The decree also stated that neighborhood stores, supermarkets, restaurants, bakeries, pizzerias, and like can operate every day from 5 a.m. in the morning to 7 at night. After the previous schedule and until 11 at night, any activity they develop must be done through the modality of delivery service. Likewise, the agglomeration of people in the pedestrian zone and other sectors of the island is prohibited from 8 a.m. at night until 5 in the morning, and the celebration of religious service is restricted to a capacity of 30%. These measures will begin to apply in the department as of this moment.
And on the other hand, the construction of the farmers market project is progressing in a satisfactory way. The objective is to adapt and construct the farmers market.
The farmers market will be a space where farmers will be able to freely market their products. The main idea of this project is to make visible the great work and contribution of islanders who preserve the culture through the planting.
Yesterday, we had a visit with the Finneter and also with other helper for the Secretary of Agriculture. Was something new to me, really. The farmer market, that is a very important building that will give us and give all the agriculture people to have a space in our community, and also issue to sell the product in a space with good space, and have opportunity to embrace this moment and sell all the product what they have in what they produce local.
The project is located in the Rockhole sector, and it is expected to be delivered by the end of the May of 2021 year.
And in other news, maritime signaling works developed on the islands by the DMAR were successfully completed.
The General Maritime Directorate, DMAR, completed the maritime signaling work being carried out in the Department of San Andres and the Municipality of Old Providence after several of the buoys in the sea were affected by the passage of Hurricane Iota. The port captain in charge, Lieutenant Luis Lasandaval, delivered a report of the work.
23 days of work in a scientific research ship, which intervened 35 buoys, 15 lighthouses, highlighting the Heinz Key Lighthouse and the isolated danger buoy that we have on the west side of the island, highlighting all the buoys of the channel which had been affected by Hurricane Iota. We did maintenance on the light, cleaning, organization, and relocation of the CM that were drowned by the hurricane. Guaranteeing security so we can guarantee the flow of ships of greater capacity, boats that have their signaling. Not only San Andres and Old Providence were intervened, but also the island keys such as East, Southeast, Sorinas, Sorinilla, Roncador, South, Southwest. All the signaling of these islands are 100% operational without any novelty.
The maintenance of the buoys and the lighthouse of the archipelago are performed twice a year by the port captaincy in conjunction with the National Navy. It is expected that in the second half of this 2021 inspection and maintenance work will be performed.
And complaints continue from victims of Hurricane Iota on the island of San Andres. This time, it is a couple that is living at the mercy of the rain and wind in the Cove sector.
Mistress Loriana lived with her 70-year-old husband, who suffered from a chronic back problem. She asked for help from the departmental government to be able to live with dignity. Since the hurricane devastated her house, she has had to live without a roof or walls.
Well, from the hurricane, the water blew it down, and the people in from Gobernación started come, and they said they're coming back, and they don't came back to give me no answer.
Also, the victim requested the presence of Governor Everett Hawkins to help her.
Well, the situation is not too critical because I have the Lord with me all the time, and the Lord help me all the time. We no pass hungry, but the situation is the house. We sometimes when rain come, we wait. When sun come, we burn. So I would ask, please ask Mr. Governor to please come out and help. Can many houses I see standing up, and no one live inside it, and who need it, we can't really get it.
Teleislas News will be watching what happens with Miss Loriana Reed and her elderly husband.
The Botanical Garden of San Andres donated 269 red mangrove plants to the McBean Lagoon National Natural Park on the island of Old Providence to strengthen the reforestation process in the park.
In recent days, the McBean Lagoon Park received a donation of 269 seedlings of Rhizophora mangle or red mangroves from the National University Botanical Garden in San Andres. This species of mangroves has been the most affected by the hurricane in the park.
The red mangrove is the one that has been most affected. There is almost 95% of it dead, and not enough seedlings or seeds have been found to be able to start the restoration process.
That is why a coordinated effort was carried out with the Botanical Garden, which also has as a goal the mangroves recovery.
As
a first step in the recovery of the ecosystems, the Botanical Garden donated 269 red mangrove seedlings to the municipality of Old Providence, which were transported by the National Navy and received by Marcela Cano. We have them acclimatizing in the mangrove nursery that was built very close to the limits of the national park. These seedlings will be kept there for 2 or 3 weeks before being planted in the restoration plots that we are adapting within the mangrove forest.
The Botanical Gardens field manager gave thanks to the Navy for transporting the seedlings and stressed on the importance of recovering these ecosystems for the service they offer.
They provide shelter for birds, for fish, crustaceans, and reptiles. They also protect us from strong winds.
This donation will help the recovery of the municipality's fauna and flora, which has suffered an incalculable loss with the hurricane.
And the Old Providence Pedestrian Bridge will be the first infrastructure work to be completed after the passage of Hurricane Iota. The tourist attraction had been totally destroyed, but could be ready in less than a week.
The construction of the pedestrian bridge that joins the Comsea sector with Santa Isabel is more than 90% completed. This infrastructure is a tourist attraction that functioned as a pedestrian walkway and a lookout point from where the sunset could be contemplated. On the other hand, the community of Old Providence also frequented the spot since it was a free Wi-Fi zone in the municipality. Unlike other reconstruction works that are being carried out on the island, this one preserves its original design in plastic wood. The work will be delivered in the next few days by the firm Meco and Vega Triana to the contractor, the National Road Institute in Villas, becoming the first infrastructure work to be completed after Hurricane Iota.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands, an initiative of a group of coaches that seeks to maintain the baseball process in the hill sector. This initiative, led by Professor Laudine Smith, who with the support of a group of coaches seeks to maintain a seedbed of baseball on the hill in an active process to rescue baseball and train new talents in the sport known as hot ball or baseball. One of these coaches is Kane Manuel, who gave us more detail.
On the hill always be the roots from the baseball player from San Andres. So what we're doing now, we're working with the children then from different ages, from the different sections from Pandy Hill. And thank God in these times that we have working, we have a lot of kids, as you all see. And right now what's happening, well, we're playing between ourselves. We're expecting to someday, soonly, we could organize along with the league and have the tournament then. Despite
not having financial aid, the coaches continue to develop talent with the children baseball. In the course of the Pink Coliseum, the island handball team continues its training process for the future national tournament. Under the training of the renowned coach Jonathan Rubio, who will also be the next coach of the Colombian national handball team, the pre-selected handball team of the archipelago is preparing for future participation in the next national tournament. We talked to one of the players, and this is what he said.
We prepare ourselves for a national game from handball floor and beach handball also from the national Maritime. So we want to represent for the island the best way, like how we always do, and become champ again.
The challenge of defending the title of the national champions is the goal of this selection, as mentioned by another teammate.